to say congratulations. Your performances are spectacular.
Thank you.
You really bring us in, and there's so much to break down. First of all, Cooper, you went to visit Erik.
Yeah.
Talk to me how that visit came about with Kim Kardashian. No
Yeah.
less.
So Kim and Scott Budnick do a lot of prison reform work, and she had seen the show. She called me and told me she loved it, and you know, she feels for them, and they had a trip planned to go down there to talk about this green space project that Lyle and Erik are spearheading. They've been working on it for a long time, and she invited me to go with them, and I was like, yeah, I'm so down. And so we went down, and we went to this gymnasium where we sat around with 30 or so incarcerated individuals who all shared their stories, and it was very emotional and inspiring. And actually something really interesting, they all said that they came from dysfunctional families, which I found to be really, really interesting and devastating. And I got to meet both of them and just tell them I believe them, and I support them, and I did everything I could to portray them authentically.
Did your impression of them change in any way after meeting them and having these conversations?
In fact, it made my beliefs about them stronger. They're so kind. They're such amazing people. They've done so much good in prison. They just graduated from UC Irvine. They are doing this green space project, as I said. Erik teaches meditation and speech classes. Like they're very involved, and they're really wonderful people.
Amazing. And I know that he had a response to the show, and then you, of course, spoke to him afterwards. Tell me what you said when he called the project inaccurate.
Yeah, all I said was I understand how he feels, and I get how difficult it would be to have the worst part of your life be televised in a dramatized way for millions of people to see. And so I support him. I understand how that must feel, and yeah.
Well, I must say, for those of us who lived through the headlines in this story, you do a really beautiful job of peeling back the layers and making us think a little bit more. What was it like going into these characters and going into portraying Lyle, and perhaps knowing that you're showing an audience a side to the story that we may not have known about?
Yeah, we were tasked with sharing these characters and these real people from several different perspectives, right? So I was trying to assimilate a wide variety of different materials, from the scripts to everything that I had researched, the trial footage, and ultimately you come away with an interpretation that shows this story from many different perspectives and sides.
Absolutely. And your performances are both so incredibly powerful, I have to say.
Thank you.
You really make us stop and think, and you bring us back to that time. And also, as with any Ryan Murphy production, there's going to be something we're talking about. And you know what we're talking about. We're talking about the relationship between the two of you. What were your thoughts on introducing this kiss and the insinuation of an incestuous relationship?
Well, I think it really all comes from this one perspective, which is the Dominic Dunn theory. Yes. And honestly, I don't think it's true. It's just his point of view, his perspective. And, you know, the cool thing about that scene in episode 7, where he's talking about it and explaining the theory, you know, at the end of that scene, it cuts to a shot from behind him, and all of the friends that were sitting at the table are now gone. And I think that's sort of like the mise-en-scène way of saying that his point of view is kind of not very favorable. And so I don't think anything like that happened. I think it was just, we're showing all of the perspectives in this show so that the audience can act like the jury did and give their opinion at the end of the series.
I love that. It's so poignant, actually, to think of it in that way. Is there added pressure? There's always pressure, right? And then here you are in a Ryan Murphy project because, you know, we're going to obsess over this project. But is there added pressure about playing characters who not only are true to life, but who are still alive? And how did you tackle that?
Of course, there's added pressure. You try to handle it as diligently as you possibly can, while keeping in mind that there are a very wide variety of creative demands being put on you. You have the creative demands that you put on yourself, but then there are also creative demands from all the other people who are involved, such as screenwriters and directors, etc.
Absolutely. And all the performances are incredible, including your own. But I want to talk for a moment about Javier and Chloë. I mean, they just chew up the screen and spit it out every scene that they're in. What was it like? I mean, I found myself like in those scenes where Javier is going at you guys.
Yeah, I think he really does such a brilliant job of he's obviously terrifying, but he has this charm and this sort of bravado that is kind of pulls you in. And I think that's really nuanced in how he approached the character, because that's kind of how a person like that is, and quite frankly, a narcissist. They draw you in and they charm you and they pull you in and make you feel like you're important and seen and loved before they then, turn and become this dark, evil monster.
Absolutely. What was it like for you playing those scenes? He's pretty terrifying.
Correct, yeah, and it's really harshly juxtaposed, the violence with the love,
Yes.
right? Which made it really impactful and definitely had a profound effect on me as an actor.